I'm Ruth Randleman. I'm the mayor of Carlisle, Iowa. Coming from a city whose topography lends itself to a lot of stormwater issues, we are in kind of a rolling, hilly terrain at the bottom of where a glacier stopped, and we're also at the confluence of two rivers. We see a lot of stormwater damage, effects, whatever, and managing that turns out to be pretty expensive on occasion. We have issues with, we did one project and some of the issues were backyards were actually washing away from erosion due to a creek that went through their backyards. We had street flooding due to overtopping of our stormwater system. Just issues like that come along that do create damage and create some inconvenience for our citizens. So to get a handle on all that and protect our businesses from flooding, our downtown is subject to some of that as well, turns into quite a project sometimes. But when I came on the city council and then a year and a half as mayor, we were starting to understand that we needed to address some of these things. Along with that, the vision for our community also became evident. We have a lot of things that kind of added up to what we thought in the past were problems. So we decided to look at them as assets, our wetlands, our rivers, our those kind of things that make up our topography, and turn them into assets and try to manage and kind of reflect them as positives when we could. We started with, very simply, we're a small community. We don't have engineers on staff. We contract a lot of our work out, not a big staff. But we did take the step to contract with an engineer for a better site review that would include calculations for stormwater management and put in some ordinances in place for how to control that per site. That led to a project that was bigger than just one site, and we kind of, at the time, were a little bit cutting edge for a community our size, in that we got a grant for a project that included a watershed basin that went actually outside of our jurisdiction. So we had to incorporate another landowner outside of the jurisdiction, and it was into the future planning, so that even though the area wasn't developed, we set up a stormwater ordinance for the future for when that did develop, and incorporated projects that would be built as the area developed, because it was in our, also done a comprehensive plan that helped a lot with this, because then we could visualize where some of these problems were going to come from. One thing that's been very advantageous for us as a community is, I've been involved, my staff has been involved as a community, we've sought to get involved with the bigger regional projects. We were part of a sustainability grant in the region. That really helps you look at the bigger picture, and when it comes to especially stormwater management, flood mitigation, that happens by watersheds, not jurisdictions. So to get input on a regional level and get those partners involved where you can help affect change in your community upstream, which was my first lesson as mayor, that water runs downhill. You have to consider all the dynamics of all that hydrology that goes on for stormwater management that doesn't come from just your jurisdiction. So working with partners, I think, is key, getting involved at regional levels, and a lot of citizen-driven public input, advice, and just getting that participation from your community is real key. Smaller communities can do these things. Usually communities my size are very limited with the resources of staff and budget, but at the same time there's a lot of opportunity for others to participate with you, for advice, for grants, for neighborhoods and citizens to get involved. We've just had this wonderful synergy of private landowners, developers that were interested in helping us, and a community need, and a group of committed citizens that were interested in this kind of stuff. I think into the future it's going to serve us very well.